Pueblo, California. It's right at the end of, it's about 20, 30 minutes south of the Coliseum, about 15 minutes south of LAX. It's a little port town, import, export. My father came from Mexico, my mother came from Mexico. My dad joined the Second World War and gained his citizenship. My brother is 12 years older than I am. My sister's 8 years older than I am. My sister had to get married when she was 16. My brother didn't go to school. My mother and father didn't go to school. To this day I can go home. My mother's still alive by the grace of God. My mom's 92 years old. My mom's 92 years old and has never driven a car in her life. 92 years old, never driven a car. And I'm flying out here in a couple of weeks to spend Thanksgiving with me and with one of my daughters who's out in Los Angeles going to school right now. But I remember so clearly being involved in baseball. I really do, in baseball. I'd be honest, basketball, football. I was just involved in athletics. But my mom and dad, I could take you to my house right now and in our garage. My name is Andy or Andrew or Andres, whatever, right? And my dad spelled my name on the boxes, the toys that belong to me or baseball equipment. It's right now, I could take you right now, and in our garage it says A-N-D-I. And couldn't spell. My father couldn't spell. Greatest man I've ever known. My father's the greatest man I've ever known, but he couldn't spell. You know, worked hard. He worked from 5:30 in the evening till 3:30 in the morning for 53 years as a longshoreman. I saw my dad on weekends, in and out on the weekdays, because if you think of a young guy's schedule, right, I would be practicing something and he'd go to work at 5:30, and then I'd come home, but he'd be at work, and then I'd go to school at 7:30, 8 o'clock, because I had to walk to school, and he would be sleeping because he just got home at 3:30 in the morning. So I saw my dad on the weekends a lot, but didn't really see him on a day in and day out basis. Greatest man I've ever known. I never heard my dad say a negative thing about a human being, ever. In my entire life, never heard my dad say a word. I miss my dad. I talk to him every day. He passed away. My dad went home to be with the Lord 6 years ago this coming June. But I want to share this with you because I had nobody, and my mother and father, the greatest parents on earth. I mean, for me personally. But nobody was directing me to education. It was basically, I was, you know, I'll be honest, I was pretty good in baseball, I was okay in football, and I was okay in basketball. I wasn't great, but I was pretty good in baseball. I was a shortstop, and I was pretty good. There you go. I was a shortstop, and I was pretty good, and I hated to lose, which I still do. I hate to lose, so I kind of had some leadership ability, I guess, and before I know it, and I'm getting recruited, but nobody directed me. Again, my sister had to get married at 16, she got pregnant. My older brother was 12 years older, and he was just kind of, you know, he's a good man. He lives in Northern California, and I love him. But you know, nobody talked about education. Nobody talked about education. That was never discussed at my house. Never, no, it wasn't. Just as long as I was eligible, I could play. If I was eligible, I could play. If I was eligible, I could. That's all I knew. If I was eligible, I could play. But nobody talked about education, and not because my mother and father didn't think it was important, but it wasn't in their lives. They were farm laborers. My mom and dad came to this country, and they told me how they used to pick up in Central California, up in Fresno, and all the rest. They gave me these stories and all the rest, and it just wasn't a big thing. And then high school came around, and guess what happened? I got recruited. I got recruited by UCLA, USC, Fullerton, Pepperdine, Long Beach State, San Diego State. I was being recruited, and maybe, I'm not sure if you guys understand what that is, but they want you to come play baseball for them. And they bring you in on the weekend, and you go to a football game, and they buy you dinner, they put you up in a nice hotel, and they tell you how much they love you. I do this every weekend. They tell you how much they love you, and they tell you how much they want you, and 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 then they offer you a scholarship. And way back then, there was a lot more scholarships than there are now. There's a lot more scholarships than there were now, in college baseball at least. And so I thought, man, this is great, until they asked for my grades. And the reason I took the opportunity for Ricardo asked me to do this is because I'm a living example of a young guy that when they saw my grades, guess what they said? Nope. We can't get you into school. We cannot get you into school. We want you, but we can't get you into school. So you're gonna have to go to a junior college to get your grades squared away. So I went to a junior college for 2 years to get my academic life squared away. I sometimes regret it. You know, now I'm not knocking a junior college. I think junior colleges are fantastic for those that need it, like I needed it back then. But boy, I really miss it. My wife went to UCLA for 4 years. This is the honest to God truth. My wife is from Southern California. I'm from Southern California. We live 20 minutes apart. I didn't know her at UCLA though. I didn't know who she was. But When she talks about UCLA and her experience, she went there for 4 years, and when she talks about UCLA and her experience, I sometimes scratch my head and go, did we go to the same school? I went to UCLA, she went to UCLA, but she was there for 4 years. She was in the dorm as a freshman. She went through all these things. She visited campus. She got to know people. I was in junior college for 2 years and then went to UCLA and played baseball. I did, I'm being real honest. And so I want to take this opportunity to all of you to really come here and say this. It worked out for me, but you know what? If you don't have good grades, if you don't pay attention to your schoolwork, if you don't pay attention to what your professors, your teachers are telling me, back with my players, I say this to my players all the time, if you don't do those things, it's not going to work. Because of my background, these are the rules that I have in my program. Get ready. Eric, okay? If you missed class yesterday, Eric, and our academic advisor calls me or texts me or sends me an email and says, Eric missed class, it was an unexcused absence, we don't let Eric on the field. He cannot practice that day. If you miss study hall, unexcused, at the university, for me, baseball, we don't let you on the field. You can't get on the field. Now, the reason I share that with you is because in my life, if you would have said, Coach, or Andy, you missed class yesterday, you have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and jog 4 miles on the track, I would have done it. I just would have got a nap later in the day. But if you told me, Andy, you missed class yesterday, you cannot come to baseball practice, you would have stopped my world right there right there. You would have stopped it. No. Wait a minute. What do I have to do to get on the field? I need to get on the field. I want to get on the field. Well, you want to get on the field, you have to go to class first. You have to go to class first. You have to go to class first. So I really, really wanted to come today and just share with you. I know Ricardo asked me to do it. I was fortunate to meet him in my office, and you have a great man leading you and what he's doing for you and helping you in this situation. Boy, I really want to impress upon you guys. And ladies, go to class. Pay attention to your teachers. Really, it's important. It's probably the most important thing you'll ever do. If I did not go to junior college and get my degree from UCLA, and I was drafted by the Detroit Tigers, and I saw such a value in my degree now. Okay, I went from a guy that didn't even care about school to when I was at UCLA, I was drafted. I was an 82nd player drafted in America. I was the top 100 players drafted. I didn't even sign a professional contract. I wanted my degree so badly. I said, I don't want to be walking the streets without my degree. I got my degree. I never signed a day. I didn't play one day of professional baseball. Drafted and didn't play for the Detroit Tigers. Went right into coaching at 22 years of age. Became a high school coach for 5 years. And for the last 31 years, I've been a head coach at the college level. Cal State Dominguez Hills, Pepperdine University, University of Florida here. I've coached in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Alaska, Wichita, Kansas, Florida, Los Angeles, Arizona. I've been blessed. I've been National Coach of the Year 3 times. Won a national championship at 2 different universities. Pepperdine University in 1992, and here I'm one of only 2 coaches in the history of college baseball to win a national championship at 2 different places. One of only 3 coaches in the history of college baseball to take 3 different programs to the World Series: Pepperdine, Florida, and Arizona. So I've had all these nice things happen to me, and really the root of it is that I made a decision to get my
degree.
Yes, I made a decision to get my degree. And even walking over here, I got here early. I like being early. I just don't like being. I have 2 rules in my program. Ask any of my players. 2 rules in my program: be on time and do things right. That's it. That's it. Be on time and do things right. That's it. Because you know in your heart what's right. You do. You know when you walk by a piece of paper, you probably should what? Pick it up. And you know when you get up in the morning and it's time to go to school, unless you're really sick, you probably should go to school. Yeah, you should go to class. You know, you should go to class. You know what you know. So I have 2 rules in my program. I've had it for 36 years. Be on time, and do things right. That's it. You can ask any of my players that play for me. And I've had 32 guys in the big leagues. I have 12 guys right now that are playing in the big leagues right now. And even those guys, I have same rules. So be on time is be on time, and doing things right now in your life would be go to class, go to school, and have a vision. The vision I'd like to give you is the vision I was never given when I was a young man. My vision was get to the big leagues. That was my vision, get to the big leagues. I had 4 or 5 guys that played in the big leagues that were my age, a little bit older than me. That was my vision. But and it's not my mother and father's fault. It's not my mother and father's fault. Now here's the neatest thing about it. I have 4 kids. Okay, I want to give you a vision. Go to school. Get your degree. Be great. Be great in something. Pursue greatness. Pursue excellence. But you need to get your degree. Here's the beauty of it. Ready for this? Ready for this?
What?
I have 4 kids. Okay? One of my daughters is a teacher, graduated from the University of Arizona. She's a dance teacher. She danced with Joffrey Ballet in New York City. She came here on a dance scholarship and danced in Rimini, Italy for a summer. And she's a dance teacher at Walden Grove High School down in Suarita. My other daughter is in seminary, graduated from University of Arizona. She's in seminary at Theological Seminary doing her master's in theology and pursuing her doctorate in theology. My other son, you need to pray for my other son. He's going to graduate in December and he's on my coaching staff. He wants to be a baseball coach. I'm trying to get him squared away. He wants to be a baseball. He'll graduate in December. That's my 3rd son. And my 4th son is a second baseman in the program right now at the University of Arizona. He's a religious studies major and he's going to graduate in December. He'll graduate next December and he's applied to Harvard Divinity School. He's a 3.8 student. He's going to apply for Harvard. He's trying to get a 4.0 this year and apply to Harvard Divinity School. He wants to pursue his master's and doctorate in theology as well. So from my beginnings of a guy that had to look at all those coaches and say, what do you mean I can't go to school there? Well, you don't have any grades. 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 From my beginnings of saying, oh my gosh, what do I need to do? Go to a junior college. I went to a junior college. I got drafted. I said, I don't want to sign. I want my college degree. And here I am talking to you guys, and I'm blessed because I can now say to you, my 4 children are all graduates, will be graduates. 2 of them will receive their doctorates, and if time allows. And here I am telling you guys, hey, you know what? The most important thing you can do, guess what? Go to class, get your degree. Go to class, get your degree. You will benefit from it the rest of your life. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Okay? Okay, questions? Any questions? I'm going to answer any questions, and then I got to go to practice. You guys get it. None? Go.
Did your son make any great plays in World Series?
He made a great play the other day and hurt his back. He dove. My son didn't play in the World Series. He was a backup second baseman. Yeah, he's a backup second baseman. So he's a reserve. So he did not play in the World Series. But he's a good young guy. I'm very proud of my son because he's doing what I didn't do. From the time he's been this, I'm proud of all 4 of them. But my youngest one, man, he has really pursued his academics. That guy has really jumped after his academics. He's a good baseball player, but he's really pursuing his academics. You had a question.
How did it feel to win the World Series?
How did it win?
How did it feel?
How did it feel? Well, we won one in 1992, but I was 37 years old then. You know, I was a young guy, and kind of, now I'm old and stupid. Back then I was young and stupid. I was a young guy. I don't think I really understood it. We won it at Pepperdine. It's the smallest school in the history to win there's only 3,000 students there, and it was a small school to ever win it. Nobody thought we'd win it. When we got to Omaha, they called us Pepperdine. They introduced us as Pepperdine, and they asked, at the banquet, you'll like this one, at the banquet, here I was 37 years old, and I thought, man, I got this program to the World Series, here we go, and they have this big banquet, beautiful banquet, all the teams are there, and they had the coaches come up, the coach from the University of Texas was there, and they had him come up and introduce his team, and the coach from Miami was there, and they had him come introduce his team, and then they said, my name is Andy, right? Andy? Right? Andy? They said, Al, come on up here, Al. Come on up here and introduce your team. So they didn't know my name, which was nice. They didn't know my name, and then they said, "Come on up, Al, and introduce the Pepperdine Waves." And we're the Pepperdine Waves. But 2 weeks later, they knew who we were. We won the national championship. It was a little different this year because I'm a little older, and I realized how precious it is to win a national championship. I was younger then, and I thought, well, you just do this every other year. But that's not true. It's hard to win a national championship. And I had both my sons on the team. That was pretty special. To have both my sons on the team. That was good. Any other questions? None? None? Okay, now listen, please. I've taken time away from my practice, and practice is precious for me. But I'm only saying that for one reason. Please, I'm going to try to make contact with all you little ones. Please, hey, please, go to class. Please pursue excellence in your academic life. Please go get your degrees. Please. And if you're a real good player, come play for me in Arizona. All right?
Thanks, Coach.
All right.